Hey guys, it's Nigel here from Engineered to Slide, and today I want to take you for a tour around my BMW R9T chopper. So a little bit of a backstory on this bike. I first had a thought about building a BMW chopper because I had never seen it done before. I first drew this out in grey lead pencil on a bit of paper, took it to BMW, who loved the concept. They gave me a BMW R9T, which I pulled the motor out of, and then started building this. As I started building it, I sent some images of my progress to the guys who run the Born Free show in the USA, and they said, we'd love to have you over here to be an invited builder. And due to COVID and everything else that was going on in the world over the last 2 years, I wasn't able to make it, and the show was delayed and cancelled, but it's coming back June the 25th and 26th of this year, and I'm taking the bike over there. So it's in the workshop now. It's the last time it'll be in Australia for most of this year. I'm preparing it and I can't wait to get it over there to debut it. A little late, but better than never. There's a whole heap of interesting details on this bike. The only things that are standard is the motor, but let's start with some of the custom details, and my favorite by far is the wheels. It was a mammoth job to be able to create them, not only in the design phase, but in the fabrication phase. So this took a lot of intricate TIG welding, and this is something that you can learn throughout our courses. But really the good thing about TIG welding is you can control the heat, and as all of the spokes in these wheels are stainless steel, it required a lot of control. So this happened over many hours to make sure that the whole thing didn't heat up and warp and stay true. And the finished product, I think you'll agree, is pretty stunning. The whole idea with these is to sort of hark back to the 1960s and 1970s, where BMW had the snowflake design. And I put a bit of a twist on this to sort of style them more towards a Kim Tab or an early Moto Mag like you might have seen on early Mongoose BMX bikes. The front end's made out of chromoly, and this is a girder style front end. It uses stainless steel dog bones. These pivot on bronze bushes, which are hand machined, and the actual suspension of the bike actuates through a carbon fibre leaf spring. The chassis of the bike is made out of chromoly as well, and this is all TIG welded together. This was made out of a combination of 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch and 1 1/2 inch chromoly tube, and this was all laid out and string lined to get all of the lines and the style of the bike to tie the front end to the rear and hang the BMW R9T engine. This is from a 2019 model, and it has 1170 cc's, and it produces about 110 horsepower. Gone is all of the ECU and the injection gear, and in its place operates a Morris Magneto, and this is belt driven off the crankshaft, and then fuel is fed via the smart carbs, which are made out of billet aluminium. The air is fed through the intake system via a pair of custom made titanium inlets, and then the exhausts are also titanium, and these send the gases straight out the back, and this thing has a real note on it, partly because of the very thin wall of the titanium. The lighting comes from a little LED headlight, a little LED tail light, and the power for the bike is all controlled via a DeWalt battery. That's right, it's exactly the same as the one that you would usually use in a drill. So the rear wheel on the bike is also handmade, and this actually bolts to the stock R9T drive unit, which gives it heaps of performance, heaps of strength, great braking capability, and the rear wheel is actually an 18 inch. It uses an M&H Racemaster drag slick, which you would have found in the drag strips of the 1960s and 70s. Up front, I forgot to mention the front tyre is a 28x3 Firestone, and you would have found that on a Model T Ford in the early 1900s, and the reason that I ran that was because I wanted a 22 inch front wheel and an 18 inch rear wheel. So this is my BMW R9T chopper, and if you're interested in finding out more about it or more about the design and build process, there's a whole heap of information on the blog at engineeredtoslide.com. And if you're interested in fabricating something like this yourself, then we have a whole range of courses that will allow you to gain the skills to do that, and you'll find a whole heap of other stuff on there as well. Thanks for watching.